Hey everyone, Artosis here, bringing you some more BSL action. This is the Bombastic StarLeague season number 14, and we are in the round of 8. This is a best of 5 between XuanXuan and Ziki. Ziki, you probably already know, one of the best non-Korean Zergs for a very, very long time. A very strong Zerg player who had a great finish last season as well, eventually falling to Gypsy. And then XuanXuan, you probably don't know. This is a Chinese player, and I don't know too much about his style from what I have seen. Like, I watched some of his BSL games before this, and they were just kind of cheeses. If I recall correctly, it was like a Bunker Rush and then a Nexus bust against Quick Nexus. So, I mean, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. What I've seen so far, we'll see if he maintains that kind of average of being very, very aggressive or not. But anyways, here he is, and I'm excited to see how he plays here against Sziky. Should be a good match. You know, the Chinese players definitely showing a lot of skill. And I think maybe even more than that in some ways. They play such an alternate style here that a lot of the other foreigners are having a hard time playing against them. Definitely something I've talked about a lot with Mihu so far. But yeah, let's see how this goes down. Now, looking at this barracks placement of XuanXuan, it looks very odd, but this just means he's going to go for a gas. Oh yeah, that is another game that I saw of his, is he did just a massive Goliath all-in. So that might end up being what we see from him. This is a great placement if you are going to go for a Goliath build, because it's going to allow you to defend Zergling rushes much, much easier than any sort of forward barracks. So, yeah, we'll see about that. The map, by the way, this is Good Night. I'm sorry, this is not Good Night. This is Metaverse. And, yeah, it's one of the new ASL maps. I got thrown off there for a moment. But, yeah, it's got these kind of back locations, but they're all blocked. 12, 6, 3, and 9 all have bases that look somewhat like this, with, like, a blocking structure and then, like, kind of a normal base, and then ways to get back there. Here you can see there's like a destructible temple as well as some things to mine to get through some small patches. Anyways, it looks like a 2-hatchery opener here from Ziki. And of course the fast factory coming up from XuanXuan. And there it is. So yeah, very, very standard stuff so far on both sides. And before this really picks up, I do want to ask you if you'd be so kind as to follow the channel, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Putting a lot of work into the channel, and I hope that you do enjoy. Of course, BSL, I really enjoyed casting last season. Big thanks to Zero for letting me come back and cast the round of 8 and up from there. Always fun to see these different styles and see the top non-Korean players also go at it. Obviously not as strong as the Koreans, but definitely give you some food for thought and some alternate ways to play. All right, so XuanXuan has kept one SCV on gas, and he is going to go ahead down here and make the Nexus now. I mean, this looks pretty straight up that it's going to be a Goliath build. I'd be pretty surprised if he threw down a starport at this point. Let's see. Does he go depot or does he go armory right away? Okay, so he does go for the 3rd depot, so that means that he will make more vultures than just like one. He actually gets that next SCV started, so he has to go for the add-on. But certainly we should see the armory go down in a matter of seconds here. I'm sure that's what this is going to be. There it is. Vulture going across the map. Not a lot of intel right now. Like, this could have been an opportunity possibly for Ziki to try to run around with some lings. Sometimes you can catch your opponent off guard if you do play like that. Of course, he's already scouted that it is a factory opener. So Ziki does have his sunken down. This Vulture can't realistically do anything here. Spire is coming up. A decent amount of lings being fielded, but not too many. 8 lings is totally fine. Like, if your opponent goes 3 vultures and tries to do something, you can definitely stop it with the sunken in the lings. Looks like he will walk out onto the map. Not a lot of vision here for Ziki, so just going straight across at the moment. Overlord off on the side. I'm trying to figure out if this is like an alternate version. I don't think that this is... I think that these ramps are rather small, so this might be an older version of Metaverse or possibly even a newer one. But either way, the lings actually catch the Vulture, I guess. And Yeah, this is not looking good for XuanXuan right now. Like, this much damage, you're almost dead right now as Terran. You really need every single unit. If Ziki goes hard on the mutas from here, I think there's a very solid chance that he just wins the game. Yeah, he's killed a lot of SCVs. Notice not a lot of mining going on. Still a couple lings out. A lot of lost mining time occurring. Oh, God. Yeah, going after some more SCVs here. Gets another 2. Are you kidding me? He's down to 20 workers against 21. Plenty of gas in the bank, but no real anti-air to speak of. And you can't afford turrets from here. So here's the problem with what XuanXuan did. You know when I mentioned, like, oh, is he going to get the 3rd depot or is he going to get armory first? And then I mentioned about how he started the SCV, so he's going to have to get the add-on. Basically, with this build, you do kind of have to skip another SCV to get another vulture. And generally, the question is about, do you go 3 vultures or 2 vultures? But he went 1. So it was, like, mega greedy, and Ziki just immediately punished. So good job by him. You don't want someone playing as greedy as that. But here come the mutas. Let's see what can be done. It's only 2 Goliaths. You're going to have the most hero repairs. Okay, 2 more come out against 6 mutas. The mutas still can beat this, but a nice pullback. Defends for now. He does have the armor on the way, and that's very specific to Goliath all-ins. So I do think that's what we're going to see. He tries to start making eBay here. That looks like it's going to be hard one to get all the way going. Muta's getting some very good harassment damage yet. I mean, I honestly, like, if XuanXuan was actually Flash in disguise, I would still say I think Ziki's going to win. This is a rough position right now for our Terran player. Like, he's too low in SCVs. I don't think that this is a possible winning position for Terran. Huge amounts of damage already dealt. He does have the +1 armor for mutas on the way as well, which is very helpful against the Goliath build. And we'll see what else he does. It does have a macro hatchery coming up. His drone count looking very healthy right now at 26 compared to the 18 of his opponent. Even picking off yet another SCV as the engineering bay doesn't finish. Honestly, even if he finishes the engineering bay, you don't even have the money for missile turrets right now. Like, you are so set back. Realistically, you should have like 40 SCVs right now, at least. And like the 3rd factory would be finishing. Like, I mean, XuanXuan is so far behind. I believe that the best move for him at this point would probably just be an all-in. Like, just send your Goliaths across the map as +1 armor is finishing. Let's see how many he's going to actually end up having. So he's got 8 right now, or 10, 11. Yeah, I mean, he can have like 14-ish Goliaths and just go across and see if you can catch your opponent. You know, maybe being greedy on their own side of the map. But yeah, I think that would probably be the optimal play here. Give yourself some chance with an attack. You know, Goliaths with range, with +1 armor, and in a good enough critical mass, start to wreck mutas pretty hard. Now, the mutas of Sziky waiting to kind of stab in here. Looks like he has about 15 mutas. There's only a single missile turret. All the Goliaths heading out. So here we go. This is that attack I was talking about. The mutas instantly catch 1 Goliath right there. And Ziki can actually kill everything that he sees here. Let's see what he has defensively at home. Not very much. Making a few mutas. Like, I mean, he's going to be able to kill as much as he wants. He can stay here with the mutas and kill everything, but he's got to make sure he actually defends. Honestly, like, okay, throwing these down is fine, but it's too slow. I would like to see Sunkens either in the main or even just put Sunkens at your 3rd base and win the base trade, right? Because all he needs to do is not die to this group of Goliaths, because there's literally nothing else coming. Now, he turns around. So definitely some fear here for Sziky. Afraid that he might actually end up losing this base trade. The drones come out for an actual battle against Goliaths, which obviously isn't working super well. The Sunken finishes up. Lings, of course, being eaten alive. The mutas coming back, and the mutas will be able to kill this off. So I think that this should just be GG. XuanXuan should be tapping out. Absolutely nothing left to do with 12 SCVs. 2 Goliaths rallying across the map won't make any difference. All right, so it looks like Ziki going to take game number 1 here against XuanXuan. GG. Well, I mean, game number 1 was pretty fast, so let's just jump into game number 2 here. XuanXuan in the top right of Eclipse, and in the bottom left we have Sziky. All right, I mean, I already kind of mentioned it in game 1, right? Like, if you're going to go for the Goliath build and you don't cut extra SCVs, one thing people do, by the way, to kind of get around it is they take all 3 SCVs off gas, and that allows you to get a little bit of a mineral boost and get the depot going a little bit quicker. But either way, XuanXuan decided to make 1 Vulture, then add-on. And that's just, it's a bit too greedy, and Ziki just punished him as he should have. So it's strong victory. You know, games look like that occasionally. I think especially with some of these Goliath builds, any tech openers for Terran against Zerg are very fragile at the very beginning of the game against Zerglings. And like the thing is, once you figure out like the ins and outs of the build and how to do it against those Zergling rushes and how to micro, you're generally pretty good to go. But yeah, it seems like he was missing that a little bit. Now we do have an 8 racks here from XuanXuan, and it's like a walled 8 racks. It looks like he'll put a second depot here. That'll give him 2 holes that he'll have to block up defensively later on. But, you know, the 8 racks, a single 8 racks, generally considered a pressure build. It's actually like a pressure macro build most of the time. It just turns into an expansion. Like, anytime it's part of the wall, it should become an expansion as opposed to a factory. If it's out in the map, it becomes a factory every time. But either way, a couple SCVs being sent out. Only 1 down the main path, the other one going around so as not to be scouted. The drone of Ziki goes right past this SCV. You see on Ziki's side, he is going for a hatchery first. So this is exactly what XuanXuan is looking for. The first Marine pops out, the drone sees it and turns around immediately. So let's see what Ziki's defense looks like. It looks like he was about to make a gas there. So he was going for like a pretty quick 2-hatch layer, but of course you're going to cancel that out. No reason to do that. Second SCV just waiting. Okay, the 2 Marines are coming. Okay, so he was like hiding this until he wanted to send Marines. Oh my god, he's sending all of his SCVs, leaving only 5 at home. So this actually is kind of weird. You normally don't see this with a single 8 racks. In fact, you normally don't see this at all in StarCraft 1. The boys almost never do get pulled. But Ziki bringing his drones down, honestly, if he holds, that's like all he needs. He doesn't even need to hold the hatchery. He just needs to not die because so many SCVs are being sent down here. Well, let's see how this goes. Like, this is very scary for Zerg, but the Marines all go to the front. Oh my god. And Ziki getting all over these Marines right now. Loses a few drones. Oh god, oh god. Oh, and he gets that last one. The bunker has finished. Another Marine is coming down, but Ziki gonna pop that one as well. Plenty of Lings are out. So looking pretty good for Ziki. Let's take a look. But, oh, 14 SCVs against 6 drones. You know what? Maybe this is okay for XuanXuan. If he just sends his SCVs home, he's actually got... It's a fair amount to go up against 7. Maybe Ziki over-defended there, bringing all of his drones down. Like, he ends up killing all the Marines. But now he has to get counter damage done. He's down to half the workers. Now, with 2 hatcheries, he can replace somewhat. But this is tough, no doubt about it. Okay, this SCV looks like it wanted to block here. Okay, well, XuanXuan does not even block his wall against the incoming counterattack, which is, like, what he needed to do against a bunch of Lings running. Okay, GG, 2-0 for Ziki.